Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas, and people ask me all the time, how hard is it to use the YoloBox? Well, today we're going to take a look at how the YoloBox compares to other tools and compare the differences. The YoloBox has revolutionized multi-camera live switching by putting the capabilities of a hardware video mixer into a small, battery-operated handheld tablet. What does this mean? Well, before the YoloBox, you had to make a choice. If you had a hardware mixer, you had to bring monitors and AC power in order to see what you were trying to mix. If it was a tablet-based solution that was portable, you had no real way to plug in real cameras on HDMI. So your DSLRs or your camcorders with a long 20 times optical zoom simply couldn't be plugged into the tablet switching the video. Moreover, if you also wanted to mix audio or do titles, those usually require additional hardware or additional computers on the table. Did you want to do instant replay? Add more hardware. Did you want to incorporate remote guests? Add more hardware. Do you want to stream to more destinations at the same time? Add more software. In the end, it becomes a very daunting task and a table full of gear to do all of these things. Well, the YoloBox changed all of that by providing multiple physical HDMI inputs for real cameras into a portable handheld tablet. It also has an internal audio mixer, titles, video playback, instant replay, remote guest capability, multicasting, and all of this is built in. But the key difference is you get the portability of a battery-operated tablet where you can see and operate everything on the touchscreen. Plus, you also get honest-to-goodness HDMI inputs right in the tablet with zero additional anything required. Now, if you're interested in the YoloBox and you're coming from a software-based solution from the iPad or Android like Switcher Studio, Teradek AirMix, Top Director, Cinemaker, Mevo Multicam, Sling Studio, or even Panasonic's own Live Control, it'll be pretty easy to make the transition to the YoloBox because you're already very comfortable working on a touchscreen-based device. Everything you need is on the screen in front of you, and to access different features, you go through different parts of the screen. It's really the same on all of these solutions, and as you can see, it's easy to navigate and touch your way through running a show. In fact, I use the YoloBox Pro to make every tutorial about the YoloBox, demonstrating that it's really capable of doing the very things we say. When you want to switch an input, they're all lined up under the program window. When you want to switch titles, there's a titles page. To set your streaming destinations, there's a sharing page. When you want to invite guests, there's the remote guest page. When you want to change your audio settings, there's an audio page. If you need sports scoreboards, there's a scoreboard page. If you want to integrate viewer comments into your show, there's a comments page. If you want to auto switch inputs, there's a page to set up your auto switching, etc. I have made separate tutorials on each of these features, so be sure to check out the YouTube channel called YOLO Live Tech for these tutorials and a lot more. Hardware mixers are a completely different type of solution. Traditionally, at the broadcast end of the production scale, a hardware mixer is dedicated to just video and nothing else. Every camera and video input has to already be converted to the format of the video mixer, and in engineering terms, every input has to be gen-locked to the frame rate of the video mixer. If you don't know what that means, that's fine because we're not going to talk about those mixers too much. They are used on very large-scale broadcast productions where the person pushing the buttons to switch the video literally does nothing else. There's a separate person or more doing the titles and graphics and additional people for video playback, more people for audio mixing. In the smaller prosumer market, there are video mixers that have added additional capabilities like Blackmagic Design's ATEM mixers, Roland's AV mixers, etc. These mixers have internal still store capabilities, internal audio mixing, some macro capabilities, and more. But you really need to add a computer or a tablet or multiple computers to access those other internal features of the hardware, because most of those capabilities are not accessible on the device itself. So it can be cumbersome adding and using multiple laptops to enable access to everything inside the mixer. Plus, these hardware mixers do not offer a way to see what they're doing, so you also need a program monitor and a multi-view monitor, in addition to even more computers providing graphics, titles, and video playback. The YoloBox Pro provides a very integrated touchscreen interface to access all the features it can do without adding another screen. When you're creating graphics, you see what you're doing full screen. You can adjust your audio, manage viewer comments, while at the same time switching between inputs and seeing your live program, as well as streaming and recording information right on the screen. This makes it very easy for one person to easily manage multiple aspects of a show right on this single screen. And if you want to check something in detail, you can resize it to fill the screen. What you see on your YoloBox screen is your operator interface. The HDMI out, as well as the recording and the streaming outputs, are all just the program feed. But if you wanted to, you can set the monitor output to duplicate your operator interface so you can see everything you're doing on a larger, like a 24-inch display if you wanted. This is handy if you have more people who need to see the sources, like a director, or if you want a bigger view of titles in your graphics. While the YoloBox does not have buttons, the touch screen is easy to operate. You can choose in the settings whether it's a single tap or a double tap that switches the cameras. I choose a single tap because this is a controlled environment, but if you're outdoors and have the YoloBox mounted on top of your camera, for instance, I can see wanting a double tap to avoid accidental camera switches if the screen is touched accidentally. Similarly, starting and stopping streaming and recordings brings up alerts that you must go through before the YoloBox starts or stops your streams and recordings. Again, this is to make doubly sure that no accidental screen touch does something you really don't want to do. And while some mixers have macros, the YoloBox has preset inputs with what would be called DVEs, so that you can prearrange multiple inputs on the screen, add borders, backgrounds. You can even attach additional downstream graphics to those inputs as if the YoloBox had additional mix and effects buses. And again, it's all with touchscreen simplicity while building these inputs and using them in a show. This is why using the YoloBox is actually quite easy, whether you're coming from a tablet-based solution or a hardware-based solution. It works like you think it should. It enables you to create multi-views and graphics with ease and use them in a show with just a tap, or double tap, of your finger. I hope this video has helped you understand that the YoloBox sits in this comfortable middle ground, providing real physical hardware video inputs to a tablet with touchscreen flexibility, while also providing so many additional software-based capabilities that you simply don't get with hardware mixers. This is what puts the YoloBox Pro in a unique class of tools and makes it a very useful addition for most any production setup and mobile producer. My name is Anthony Barocas for YoloLive. Thanks for watching.